Welcome back to Stardew Valley. I'm your host, longtime listener. As you can see, we are trying something new today, or with this episode, where you're going to get to look at my ugly mug. So we'll see how this goes. But anyway, adding to the experience, or maybe subtracting from the experience, depending on your personal opinion. In any case, it is Tuesday the 23rd here on the Funny Farm. And we've got some corn, we got 2 more gold, and that gets us closer to the quantity 5 that we need for the community center, so that's good. We got a bunch of oak resin there, so a nice little gathering session in the tree empire. And let's see, what do we have on the agenda for today? We are going to build a preserve jar, a couple of kegs, and then in those pieces of equipment, we are going to craft some jelly for the community center, pale ale for Pam, who's been wanting one from us for a while, and we'll start our starfruit wine. Now, starfruit wine is going to net us some pretty good cash, but we only have the one. After that, we'll probably start making either more pale ale until we run out of hops, or blueberry wine, or maybe a little bit of both. So we'll see. And we'll continue to add to our keg empire, but we probably won't really do that until we get our shed, because that's where we want to really start ramping up our keg empire, is in the shed, especially once we get it to be the mega shed, as I like to call it. So anyway, that's the first couple of to-do list items, and then other things on the agenda. We will head to Clint's because we've got some whatchamacalls geodes to bust open, and then we'll probably have to head to the museum after that, and then we'll either do some wood chopping or mining, or maybe even a little bit of both. Realistically, we need to be doing some mining to kind of continue to prep for the fall, because we're going to need more gold for sprinklers, we're going to need more gold for equipment upgrades, as far as our pickaxe and our axe, and then we'll need iron for sprinklers, we'll need iron for kegs, we'll also need it if we decide to upgrade the watering can, and the hoe. So there's that, and then what else is there? Well, we'll need a bunch of copper too, because we need it for some more silos, a few more tappers, and it's one of the ingredients in kegs. So there's all that going on, plus we need coal to smelt all that stuff. So anyway, we got some more wild plums. I can't score that stinking pomegranate, unfortunately. So, before I forget, I forgot to mention, I forgot to do the fun fact of the day in the previous episode. So in this episode, we're going to have 2 fun facts. So get ready. So anyway, tomorrow is Wednesday the 24th, and it's Willie's birthday. So we'll head on down to the beach, find Willie, and give him a birthday gift. And I actually looked it up in terms of what we've got that he has on his list of favorites, and the only thing we have is a catfish. So that's what he's going to get. There's Shane. Say hi to him. What we're going to actually kind of start doing a little bit more emphasis on in the game is trying to not be as caught up with efficiency and whatnot. Not that we're going to go out of our way to not be efficient, but here is a perfect example. I read the help wanted. Emily wants a quartz refined quartz. I know I've got one back at the farm, so I'll just go back and get it. We'll do the quest. We'll go see her. We'll say hello. And, you know, I don't mind going out of my way to do something like that. Even if I had something else that I kind of had on the to-do list, it's not a big deal. Like, let's not get caught up and stressed about the agenda. Let's just kind of enjoy the flow of the game. Oh, and here's Maru, and I tried to catch her there, but by accident jumped on the horse, and then she made it into the clinic, which is good because I got to see a cutscene that I otherwise probably would not have. And she's sick of doing samples for Dr. Harvey, and I walk in and spook her, and she's like, ah! And she drops it. And she's all scared that Harvey's gonna be really angry. So she asks me for advice. And she either wants she wants me to maybe tell her to take the blame, or just like try and act like it never happened. I say, you know what? Tell the truth. And that's what she does. Here comes Harvey. And she's like, I'm sorry, I dropped it. Harvey's like, that's cool, don't worry about it, we'll just get another one. That beaker probably costs like $5, so not a big deal. Now, anyway, I think the marriages that happen if you don't pick, you know, certain single people or whatever, I think Harvey and Maru actually get hooked up. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case because they are both eligible bachelor or bachelorettes, respectively. And since they work together, they go against the, you know, unwritten rule of not dating a coworker. Terrible idea. Don't do it. Sleep with them? Maybe. Date them? There is a difference. So anyway, now we go see Emily. We give her her quartz. And, you know, that got me thinking, we need to befriend Caroline. So I look down here, and she's still pretty far down the list with just 1 heart. We need to get her to 2, because that's one of the elements of getting the tea leaves, which tea leaves aren't a huge deal. I just like to have them just because it's cool. Anyway, we leave, and we get another cutscene. So whatever we did there with Emily apparently unlocked this mess. So she's like, another beautiful day in Pelican Town. And these birds come out of the tree here. 3 of them fly off. And she's like, my friends! And then here comes another one who was probably on one of those hallucinogenic drugs that Emily likes to dabble with, and smacks right into the window. And she's like, oh no, you poor thing. And she cradles him in her arms and rocks it. It's got a broken wing, and she's like, you're different than the others, aren't you? Just like me. So Emily considers herself to be different. So she decided to take it on inside and nurse it back to health. But the weird part is, she doesn't name it. I find that a little bit strange. Like you see here. All set up in her room, but as a token of respect, she didn't give the bird a name. Like, it's kind of your pet, but how can it be your pet and not have a name? What do you just do? Just walk in and be like, what's up, bird? I just don't know. But anyway, bird looks fine right there. Those wings appear to be working quite well. So, it's magic. Anyway, that's another cutscene on the day. So we're on a roll. What else do we want to do here? We've got plenty of time to kill, and we're not really on a super tight schedule, so we'll head down to the beach. And there's Alex in his jeans and his Letterman jacket, again, hanging out on the beach in the middle of summer. And he's like, oh, if my hair wasn't so popular with the ladies, I swear I'd shave it in a second. Life is so tough. Okay. You know, whatever floats your boat, Alex. And you see there, I got a couple more books for the library. And I've been meaning to swing by there and kind of show what the library does from a functionality perspective. You know, if you've played the game a bunch, the library is kind of useless. If you have not played the game a bunch, it can be quite helpful because anytime you dig up one of those books and it shows up in the library, you can head down there, do a little light reading, and learn something about the game. And, like, for example, you might learn something about how to take care of livestock, or like where to buy them, that sort of thing. You might learn something about fishing. All these little, factoids that you can gather from just swinging by the library. Who would have known that you can learn stuff at a library? It's crazy. But everybody's out and about town today. What is going on, y'all? There's cutscenes going on. There's people everywhere. It's a good day to have a good day. Okay, so while we're kind of just running around town here, I will explain our strategy for tomorrow in terms of the agenda. Tomorrow, I think I already said this. Tomorrow's Willie's birthday, and we're going to run down and give him a catfish. We will also probably craft a bunch of tappers and fill up the trees in our tree empire that don't have tappers yet, because I know there are some. So we've kind of slipped on that, but whatever, not a big deal. So we'll do that, and then we can head down to Marnie's tomorrow and buy some chickens because she's finally going to be open. So we'll buy chickens, and then the next day our barn should be ready and we can buy cows, but that's going to be in the next episode. So here we are at the museum. So we'll drop off our couple of goodies here that we got from Clint, and then I'll just kind of show you a couple of the books real quick. So like you see there, this book is by Marnie, and it tells you about animals. And then here's some tips on farming, fertilizer, fruit trees, crops, and such. That's the one about Marnie. There's foraging, fishing, and now I'm just clipping through them. That one's probably about the mines or whatever. But anyway, there's all kinds of stuff that you can figure out. There's Star Drop, there's beer or whatever. There's lots of stuff. Anywho, you get the picture. There are books, you can read them, and when you do, you learn things. So, our little museum collection is coming along pretty well, to be honest. There's a bunch of stuff over there. We're making pretty good progress. And eventually you get a key from Gunther that unlocks, I believe, the sewer. There is the ice cream, and I'm showing that because it's only 250 bucks. And if you happen to be in a pinch for a gift for whatever reason and are down there and Alex is there, everybody likes ice cream. So get them some ice cream. It's not super expensive. So there you have it. Alright, we're going to swing into the community center real quick, drop off this corn, and then we'll continue heading north towards the mines. We'll probably chop a couple of trees on our way to the mines, and then hit the mines and maybe try and get down like 5 levels today, because it's already 1:30. We're not going to get too deep. We're not really there to collect a bunch of ore, but we're going to the lower levels, which will be gold in that area, which we can use, so it's fine. And then if we can get down 5 levels, that'll be, more than enough to call today a productive day. So now we kind of know the plans, and all I'm going to be doing is cutting down trees and mining and such. Not a whole lot for me to do commentary-wise as far as what's on the screen. So, you know what that means. It is time for the fun fact of the day. And so today's fun fact is, today's first fun fact. Fun fact number 1 is that Neil Armstrong's hair was sold at auction for $3,000. I guess it was probably at an auction, I assume. But anyway, I don't know. The dude that bought it is a guy named John Reznikov, and he holds the Guinness World Record for the largest collection of hair from historical celebrities, which is creepy. Like, real creepy. I don't know how you get started down the path of collecting people's hair. The only thing I can think of is like maybe he bumped into Michael Jackson on his way to get a haircut, and he was like, "Dude, can I get some of them luscious Jerry Curl rings?" And Michael Jackson was just like, "Okay," in his, you know, later in life Michael Jackson voice. Anyway, I don't know how you get started down that path, but nonetheless, some dude bought Neil Armstrong's hair for $3,000. Now, the funny thing here is that he bought it from the barber who cut Neil Armstrong's hair, and Armstrong actually tried to sue the barber because you can't just take the dude's hair and sell it. Like, that's not cool for one thing, but in the state of Ohio where this happened, it's not even legal. So, anyway, turns out the guy that bought the hair ended up donating $3,000 to charity. He's like, I'm not giving back the hair, but I will give $3,000 to charity, and let's just put this behind us. And apparently Neil Armstrong was like, y'all, lawyers, really, I don't care about some dude buying my hair. It's creepy, and I really don't want to have to confront this person in court. So let's just drop it. And that's probably what I would have done, honestly. So anyway, that is fun fact number 1 of this episode. We'll have another one in the next day of this episode. So sit tight and prepare your minds to be blown. Alright. What time is it? It's 5:20. We're on level 103, now 104. So we got to get down one more level, and then we'll head back towards the farm. So won't be a real long day if this all pans out the way I expected to. Now we'll probably have a little bit of leftover energy, and we might burn that chopping down some trees or something. I don't know how much cleanup I have on the farm to do. Like over on that western side, I don't know if it's all chopped up or if we still have some work to do there, but if we do have some stuff over there still, maybe this would be a chance for us to do that. Oh, and you know what actually we might do is by the time we get back to the farm, that pale ale might be ready, and we can take it to Pam. It might not be till tomorrow though. I think it takes more than a day, and we just started that this morning, so probably not going to happen today. Okay, there's my ladder, but we're going to go up there and collect all this treasure. Kill the sun. Alright, we got another magnet ring. And I think I got a lead rod, so we can swing over to the, Alright, there's no ore on this floor, so let's get out of here. And we'll swing over to the, Adventurers Guild, sell some of those goodies that we got. But we got a decent amount of gold there, to be honest. We really need to get some more coal, though. We are hurting for coal. And I feel like that is always the case. You know, unless you're just not crafting a whole bunch of sprinklers or whatever, you can burn through coal in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And, like, preserve jars, y'all. 8 coal. It takes 8 coal to make 1 preserves jar. What is up with that? What possible use could there be in making preserve jars for coal? Did I leave that magnet ring and stuff in there? No. Okay. We were just dropping that bait into the crab pots for the final time, probably. We've gotten enough stuff out of there. I've seen some people's maps where they have, like, everywhere that you can have a crab pot, they have a crab pot. And to me, it's just like, that has to be the worst. I don't like dealing with them. They're not very lucrative. I mean, if you have 1,000 of them, yeah, it adds up. But you gotta run around the entire map and collect all that stuff, and it's just like, that takes all day. And you gotta have 1,000 bait to put back in them. So I usually keep some up here at the lake, and then some down at the ocean, and that's pretty much it. Maybe some in the town river. Look at old Linus was sitting there behind that bush. What were you doing back there, Linus? Seriously. Either number 1 or number 2. Which one was it? He didn't come out of there sporting any, toilet paper. So maybe he was just taking a leak. Or maybe he just goes all natural and uses a leaf. But anyway. Come on, let's head back to the farm. It's 9 o'clock. Already been out and about longer than I really wanted to today. We're at the point in the game where there are going to start being days where it's just like I get up, I take care of my crops, maybe do a quick foraging run, and then hit the bed so that we burn through progression. But unfortunately, there are still some things that I need to try and accomplish towards completion of the community center that might hinder my ability to do that a little bit, but we'll see. And if I do start doing stuff like that, where I've got shorter days, we can probably do more than 2 days per episode, because there'll be 10 to 15 minute days instead of 15 to 20 minute days, or sometimes even longer. So anyway, alright, we're just getting organized for tomorrow. We do still have a little bit of energy, so we might head over to the western edge of the farm and smash some rocks and whatnot. I don't know, but that's kind of the plan at this stage. So, what was I going to say? There was something that crossed my mind, and I was just blabbering on, and now I've lost it. It probably wasn't important, though, so there's that. I'll tell you what it was. Today is September 11th, and so I would encourage you to just think back to the way things were that day and how you felt as an American, if you are American. Even if you weren't American or aren't American, that day, in my opinion, is going to go down as one of the more influential days in world history, just because of, the global scale to which that was just like shocking. And anyway, a lot of people died, and I actually grew up in western Pennsylvania, not far from where Flight 93 went down. And I was in college at the time, and my roommate wakes me up and is like, dude, a plane hit one of the Twin Towers. And I'm like doing this number, like, what, dude? Probably hungover for all I remember. But anyway, as soon as I get out of bed, we're watching the news, and the second plane came in, hit the other tower. And at that point, it was like, I thought that was like the first one. And he's like, oh man, that's another one. And at that point, it was like, okay, we are under attack, because you don't have 2 accidents like that. And then I hear about one going down around Somerset, Pennsylvania, which, in high school, they were, we played Somerset in sports all the time. They were right down the road. So it was like, if it's close to Somerset, but they didn't say the actual name of the town, it's because it's a small town, which is like the one I grew up in. So I was kind of sweating a little bit, but, thankfully, for me, none of my family members or anybody that I knew was, impacted by that tragedy. So anyway, never forget, y'all. It's easy to do, unfortunately. With time, it is easy to forget the way we felt about something like that. And not so much about something like that, but the way we felt toward other people in our community and in our country. Like, we were united. That's the last time I felt like we were the United States of America. It's been a while, because we are definitely a house divided now. But let's get off of that, because that will send me down the road of a political rant, which y'all don't want to hear. Alright, it is Wednesday the 24th. Willie's birthday. We got some tappers installed like we said we were going to do. We need to swing down to Marnie's Ranch and buy some chickens. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to be buying some animals, so if anybody is watching this by chance and would like to comment on potential names for future animals on the Funny Farm, please do so. Since I don't have any input yet, since I've already played this game and had to decide on the names of these chickens, I went with a funny theme and started with the Three Stooges. So even though I bought 4 chickens, as you will see, I went with Moe, Larry, Curly, and Shemp. For all you Three Stooges fans, Shemp is basically considered the 4th Stooge, who filled in when Curly was no longer a member of the team. So anyway, we used to watch Three Stooges all the time when I was a kid. They would be on I think it was TBS, would do the Stooge-a-thon, and it was like 24 hours of Three Stooges. And this was back in the days of VHS, and we would pop in a VHS, a videotape or whatever, and have it set to slow record, and you would get 8 hours on one of those tapes. But the audio quality was horrendous. It was like super quiet. So you'd be watching and you'd have to crank the volume, and then, you know, you'd be done, you turn it off and forget to turn the volume down, and then the next time somebody went to watch anything, they were deafened by the fact that the TV was cranked to 100. Oh man, the good old days when technology was pretty simple. Ooh, another cutscene. So here we go. I forgot about this one. I think I might have mentioned it like earlier in the series, but I, for whatever reason, thought we had already done this. So she's getting all into nature shots and her camera and photography, and here she's like, you know what? I've got an idea. And watch this magic trick she pulls here in a second. Just wait for it. Exclamation point, because she gets an idea. Because she sees the cows and she's like, oh, they're pretty cute. Oh, wait, I got an idea. And then here it comes. Poof! She just pulls a tripod out of nowhere. And that tripod is the size of her. Like, where did she... What? Is she like David Blaine? Holy smokes, that was impressive. Anyway, so she's like, can you get me close to the cows so I can kind of learn how to handle them or whatever? And, I'm like, sure. And the next thing you know, she's up on the cow. Like, Evan, what are you doing, man? Who thought it was a good idea to sit on the cow? And then, sure enough, the cow bucks her. And I don't even catch her. Some boyfriend I am. I was spooked by the cow, apparently. So she ends up in the mud. And she handles it well. And as you can see, we talked about Haley being a straight up bitch in the first few episodes, and she was. But now, she's turning the corner. So, we're bringing out the good in her. Alright, so the rest of today, all we really need to do is go see Willie. Oh, we still gotta buy our chickens. We went to Marnie's, but she wasn't open yet, so we'll still need to go and swing by and do that. But the rest of what we're gonna do is pretty much down here in the cinder sap forest, just clean it up. We're gonna get a bunch of wood out of it, but we're also gonna be doing some, beautification of Stardew Valley. Look at the wizards tower there with all the flowers and vines growing up there. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Maybe that's only in summer. Anyway. Alright, now we're going to head over and get our chickens. Here's Lewis. What's up, Lewis? So I beat him in there. And another cutscene. 4 cutscenes in this episode alone. And this one is sad. Shane's back here passed out from drinking too many, Joja Lights. And Marnie walks in all concerned. Because, he's like out. He's out. And who passes out on a hardwood floor? So, he was on a bender. And I come in with a watering can. I'm like, problem solved. He's up. And Shane is a mess. Marnie's like, all you do is sit around and drink beer and play Sega Genesis, as you can see. And he's like, you wouldn't understand. And he's got demons, y'all. There was a cutscene with him back there in the beginning where he was talking, gloom and doom on the dock by the lake over there. And now he's like, hopefully I won't even be around long enough to need a plan. And Jazz runs out. Marnie goes to follow her to console her because basically Shane just said he wants to off himself. And this is tragic, y'all. And so we got to track him down and try and befriend him some more to get him over this hurdle. I think the more you befriend him, the cheerier he becomes and gets over his depression. So, and I think he maybe even cuts back on his drinking, but it's kind of hard to really know that because he still hangs out at the bar all the time. Anyway, getting our chickens here. Okay, so we got a brown chicken, as you can see at the top there. Brown chicken number 1 is named Mo. And now we got a white chicken. So we got one of each, and that's good because for the community center, I believe you need 1 large white chicken or egg and 1 large brown egg. So we got that covered. Now we got another whitey. But I honestly don't care. As long as I have 1 of each, it's all good. And eventually we will want to get a void chicken. We'll want to get a dinosaur. We'll get some ducks. We'll have a whole mess of animals, y'all. We might even sell a chicken or 2 to make room for some of the other ones, but we'll see. And there's our chickens. I didn't see which color Shemp was, but it doesn't matter. Alright, let's head down to see old Willie. I think we maybe swing by and try and see if Haley is home. I can't remember. Yeah, nobody there. She might have, yeah, she might be down at the beach. Here's Elliot. Elliot, I may have mentioned this in some of the previous, or in one of the previous episodes. Elliot seems like the guy that I could see being the heir to take over Pelican Town as mayor. He's a smart guy. He's very well spoken. He doesn't get into trouble. He's not scandalous like old Lewis sleeping with Marnie. Not that that's scandalous, I guess, but he does do some scandalous stuff, however, that we might be able to expose later. We'll see. Anywho, I could definitely see Elliot being the guy that unseats him as mayor of Pelican Town. At some point, I'll probably buy some more crab pots and put them down here in the ocean, and a couple maybe in the river. But for now, we'll make sure that we have plenty of cash for fall before we start buying stuff like that, because we don't really need it. There's Willie. He's up to 4 hearts, and he's got a ladder up there that I thought once you befriended him, you could go up and see his little sleeping quarters, but maybe not. Now, in the 1.5 update, there is a door going out the back of Willie's shop, which I don't know where it goes, because if you kind of look, I'll bet you what it is it takes you to a ferry. This is my guess, because you can rewind, and behind Willie's shop there's a little inlet, I believe. And so I'm thinking there's going to be a ferry that rolls in there. You can go out the back of Willie's shop, buy a ticket to the ferry, and go out to an island, which is going to be freaking stellar. Because that means there's probably going to be more fish. There's going to be maybe more forageables. Um, and maybe Eric mentioned some end game content, and maybe that has something to do with what's going on back there. So we'll see. But I'm thinking there's a ferry, and it goes to an island. So, because one of the pictures that he shared not only shows you the door in Willie's shop, and he's like, "Ooh, what's going on back there?" But also there was a shot where it looks like you're on an island of some sort, and there are ducks in the water, and there are trees in the shallow parts of the water. So it's definitely different terrain than anything like you see in the current version. So y'all can put your ideas in as to what you think is going to happen in the new game. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I came up with an idea that I think you should put in the next version as well. So, like when you go to Pierre's, you can sell him your crops and your forageable goods and whatnot. When you go to Clint's, you can sell him minerals and such. When you go to the Adventurers Guild, you can sell them weapons and bugs and such, slime or whatever. And same thing at Willie's, you can sell them fish. I think it would be cool, not that it's like a game changer, but I think it would be cool if you could sell your alcoholic beverages and food that you cook to Gus at the Star Drop Saloon. And why I think it would be cool is not only because it's just different, but also it could enable some of those hilarious responses that you get from people around town. Like, there was one a few episodes ago where Caroline had bought one of my parsnips or something and threw it into the compost pile, and it started to stink real bad. And she's like, where did you grow that thing? And somebody bought one of my fish from Willie and was like, that thing was terrible. So if you make good beer, they'll be happy with it. Like Pam, I can see Pam coming up to you and being like, I totally thought I was going to get iridium drunk, but I only got like regular quality drunk. So it was BS. Your, brew making skills are terrible. So anyway, just my thoughts on a idea for the next version of Stardew Valley. So now we're just kind of doing a little bit more foraging and whatnot because we're pretty much out of energy. So we better hurry up and do the second fun fact of the day. So here we go. We're going to get right to it. Irish bars used to be closed on St. Patrick's Day, which is kind of like, you think about it, like when I go out, my birthday's on St. Patrick's Day. And when I go out on St. Patrick's Day, like many other people who do the same, I'm thinking I'm going to get so drunk that I'm seeing leprechauns everywhere, even though there aren't really leprechauns. However, until 1961 in Ireland, it was against the law for bars to be open on St. Patrick's Day because Ireland is a predominantly Catholic country, and St. Patty's Day falls during Lent. And so I guess they just kind of figure it's not very moral to be out getting hammered during that time of year. So there you go. Fun fact number 2 is that a lot of places are closed. Bars used to have to be closed on St. Patrick's Day. Interesting. So anyway, we got that pale ale. So now that gives us an opportunity to do one more thing in this episode, which is head to the Star Drop Saloon and get that quest completed, where we give Pam her pale ale and quench her thirst. And while we're there, assuming Shane's there, which he probably will be, we might buy him a beer and hopefully cheer him up. We don't necessarily want to support his drinking problem, but if getting him a beer makes him like open up and become, you know, more positive, we'll do it. So, was it the last episode where I got the honey and took it to the community center? I believe so. Before too long, we'll start crafting some more bee houses too. But they're kind of down on the priority list. As long as I have like one of these things, we're good. Because adding more of them is just like a luxury to start my empire. So, we're not to that point yet. Our objective now is getting the farm completely ready for fall. So we still need, what did I say, 4 more sprinklers. Ideally, maybe even like 6 more. So that we could have 3 rows of cranberries, a row of pumpkins, and then a row of other stuff. Which is like, the row would be like 2 of each of all those things. And I would probably have them like above the watering pond. I'd move my lightning rods, which have been pretty much useless. We had 1 rainy day in summer. Like, what is that about? That's the fewest days of rain I think I've ever had. And I'll bet you 1 is the minimum that you can get the first summer, because it's like they want you to be able to get the lightning rod and capture a battery pack, because there's a quest that you need it for. But anyway, neither here nor there. Alright, so we got our beer. We're going to swing over, say hello to Shane, and he's happy. It's good to see you smile, Shane. Now take it easy on the booze. Nobody else here today. At some point we need to come down here on a Friday when like everyone's down here and buy everybody around. Drinks on me, Gus! We had a big blueberry day at the farm. So anyway, tomorrow, I think I kind of talked about the next episode a little bit in terms of stuff that we have on the agenda, but really the only thing that I mentioned is that we're going to be buying some cows. I also plan on buying either a shed or a silo, and it'll probably be the silo. The shed is not something I absolutely need yet, but I will need a silo to start stocking up on hay for the winter. So if I can, and I might even move my silo and put them like way out of the way somewhere. Like a lot of people put them way down in the southwestern corner of the farm, and we might do that just so they're not taking up usable space. Behind the shed is probably fine for a couple of them, to be honest. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode. So drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below, and we will see you all next time.